You ever had a coworker's words just felt like weapons? Someone who seemed to almost enjoy creating chaos? Well, today we're going to dig into this ancient story of betrayal that, believe it or not, has some incredibly sharp insights for how we can stay grounded and even thrive in some of today's pretty treacherous workplaces. Let's dive right in.
Seriously, take a second and think about it. We've all met this person. The one who twists the truth, who uses gossip to climb the ladder, who kind of seems to get a kick out of watching other people stumble. Well, this person has a name in our story today. It's Doeg. And getting to know him is really the first step to making sure that his modern-day counterparts don't completely uproot us.
All right, so to really get the full picture, we've got to go way back, thousands of years, to a moment of literal life and death. We're talking about a super tense political drama between Israel's future king, David, and its current king, Saul, who is just deeply, deeply paranoid.
So you've got David, who's literally running for his life. He gets some help from a priest named Ahimelech, who's just doing what he thinks is right. But someone is watching, an opportunist named Doeg the Edomite. And instead of minding his own business, he runs straight to the insecure King Saul and twists this act of kindness into an act of treason. And the result? It's just devastating. Saul, in a total fit of rage, orders the massacre of 85 priests and their entire families. A horrific injustice, all sparked by one man's malicious words.
When David hears this news, he is, as you can imagine, absolutely heartbroken and furious. So he channels all of that grief and his unshakable faith into writing what we now know as Psalm 52. And this isn't just some ancient poem, it's a raw, direct response to the evil he just witnessed. And it turns out to be a really powerful guide for us.
So what makes a person like Doeg tick? What's going on inside? Well, David actually spends the first part of the psalm completely dissecting this very question. He basically gives us a blueprint for spotting this kind of destructive behavior in our own lives.
And wow, David does not hold back. He says Doeg actually boasts in his evil, that he trusts in his own power. He says his tongue isn't just dishonest. Get this, it's like a sharp razor, actively plotting how to destroy people. This is someone who loves evil more than good, who prefers a lie over the truth, and who actually enjoys using words that tear people down.
And this is where it gets really real for us, right? Think about the workplace. A tongue like a sharp razor, that's the malicious gossip that can absolutely destroy a reputation. Loving deceit over truth, that's the person who takes credit for your work or subtly undermines you in front of the boss. David's description is a vital warning for us as Christians. We have to stay vigilant because these destructive patterns are still very much alive and well.
But here's the thing. The psalm doesn't just leave us there, stuck on the problem. It takes a dramatic turn to show us the two ultimate destinies at play here, the path of the deceitful guy and the path of the faithful. And this is such a profound reminder for us to always uphold justice and righteousness, trusting in how things will end up. David's core message here is one of incredible hope and justice. He basically declares that God himself will deal with the Doegs of the world. A life that's built on lies and destruction might look like it's winning for a little while, but it has no real foundation. God, as the ultimate just judge, will eventually uproot it completely.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look at the contrast between these two columns. Doeg's way, it's all about trusting in wealth and power. The righteous way, trusting in God's constant love. Doeg boasts in evil. The righteous praise God's name. And the end result? Doeg gets uprooted by God, while the righteous flourish and are secure. So you see, it's not just two different ways to act, they lead to two completely different destinations. So, if we're not supposed to be like Doeg, what's the game plan? What's the alternative? David gives us this beautiful, powerful image to hold on to. He doesn't say, I'm going to fight back with my own razor-sharp words. No. He says something completely different.
He compares himself to a green olive tree. Now, in that culture, an olive tree was the ultimate symbol of life, of fruitfulness, of just permanence. I mean, these trees can live for thousands of years. Their roots run so deep, finding water even in rocky soil. It represents a life that isn't dependent on the chaos happening on the surface, but on the deep, hidden source it's rooted in.
In this verse, right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. Do you hear the choice in that? In the face of all that wickedness, all that chaos, David makes a conscious choice. He chooses to be an olive tree. He chooses to put his trust not in political games or his own strength, but in the unwavering, forever love of God.
So what does this actually look like for you and me? Well, it means being spiritually alive, resilient. It means our strength, our joy, our sense of worth, it comes from God. Not from our job title, not from our last performance review, and definitely not from what our coworkers are whispering about us. It's about having a foundation so deep that the storms in the office just can't shake you.
Okay, this is a beautiful idea, right? But how do we actually do this Monday to Friday, 9 to 5? Let's break down how to turn this olive tree principle into real, concrete actions at work.
Yeah, when you're dealing with that difficult boss or that manipulative colleague or just the insane pressure to perform, how do you stay rooted? How do you choose to be a green olive tree instead of getting totally swept up in all the drama?
Well, the psalmist basically gives us a clear 3-step playbook. First up, uphold integrity. This means when a coworker throws you under the bus, you don't throw them back. You state the facts calmly and professionally, and you trust God with the outcome. Second, root in faith. When you feel totally drained by office politics, this is your power source. This might look like just taking 2 minutes before a tense meeting to pray for peace and wisdom. And third, cultivate gratitude. Even in a really tough quarter, you can thank God for the skills you're learning or for that one supportive friend at work. This kind of attitude doesn't just change your perspective, it can actually make you a source of light in a pretty dark place.
You know, at the end of the day, this is really what it all boils down to. Workplace storms, they're going to happen. That's a guarantee. Injustice, difficult people, it's part of the deal. We can't avoid that. But what we can do is choose our foundation. Are we going to be rooted in fear and ambition and what other people think of us? Or are we going to be rooted in the steadfast, unchanging love of God?
So I'll just leave you with this question. When the pressures of your job really start to squeeze you, what comes out? Is it anxiety and sharp words like Doeg? Or is it the steady, life-giving fruit of a green olive tree firmly planted in the house of God?